9th Standard ICSE Chemistry, Chapter 8, Atmospheric Pollution. Cancel the first two paragraphs. Mark the definition of environmental pollution. It is the effect of undesirable changes in our surroundings. It has a harmful effect on plants, animals, and human beings. So, something which contaminates a useful resource is called a pollutant. For example, the presence of this chapter in this textbook is an act of pollution. Now, cancel this paragraph, mark the definition of pollutants, cancel all of this. This is just general knowledge. We know the natural sources and man-made sources of pollution. As per the scope of syllabus, part A is entirely cancelled, but your school teacher may insist that you study this as well because they love to increase your burden. Now, mark the definition of air pollution. It's a degradation of the quality of air due to the concentration of harmful contaminants. Cancel this table. All of this is cancelled. Now we have gaseous pollutants and their effects, but it's going to be repeated later, so we'll study from there. If you don't wish to cancel, just mark it as read, which means that you don't have to learn it thoroughly, just read it and you can write in your own words all of this. But if your school teacher insists that you learn it, then you do that without cancelling. Now next page. Again, harmful effects of oxides of nitrogen cancelled. Some of it is repeated in the B part. One general harmful impact of all these gases, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, is that they cause respiratory disorders. Carbon monoxide is something important, you keep that. Carbon dioxide is not poisonous, but carbon monoxide is toxic. If you breathe that in, then it combines with hemoglobin to form carboxyhemoglobin, which is a stable compound, which means that this hemoglobin can no longer be used to transport oxygen in our body and will suffocate to death. That is why we should burn fuel with sufficient supply of oxygen, because if there is a limited supply of oxygen, carbon monoxide is produced, which can cause death. So how do we control carbon monoxide pollution? Switching over from internal combustion engines to electrically powered cars. So make sure that the next car that you buy is an electric car or a Tesla car. Many pollution control devices are also now available, which we'll study shortly. This equation is not important at all. However, remember, any hydrocarbon, whatever the formula may be, when burnt with oxygen, will give carbon dioxide and water vapor. And you can balance it after that. Again, this is cancelled. Now we start with the B part, which is there in syllabus. Acid rain. We know that rain, or for that matter, any precipitation, rain, snow, fog, dew, has a particular pH value less than 7. It is slightly acidic because carbon dioxide dissolves in it, which is a weak acid. But if there is too much of SO2, NO2 in the atmosphere because of pollution, then even they will dissolve to form the respective acids like sulfurous acid, sulfuric acid, nitrous acid, nitric acid. And that will reduce the pH even further, making it more acidic. Anything below 5.6 is too acidic and it's called acid rain. And if it is as low as 3.5 or even 2, that is very dangerous. Causes of acid rain, as you have rightly predicted, is burning of fuels mostly. Now let's study formation of nitric acid. In internal combustion engines of cars, automobiles, we have this reaction happening. Because of the high temperature, nitric oxide is formed, which combines with oxygen to form nitrogen dioxide, which is a reddish-brown gas, by the way. And this dissolves in water to form nitrous acid and nitric acid. That's why nitrogen dioxide is called a diacidic anhydride, because it forms two types of acids when dissolved in water. Formation of sulfuric acid, that is produced because of processes like metal processing or in chemical plants. The reactions are such, the sulfur in the raw materials, it burns to form SO2, which will further react with oxygen to form SO3. By the way, when SO2 dissolves in water, it forms sulfurous acid, which is a weak acid. But when sulfur trioxide dissolves in water, or when sulfur dioxide dissolves in water along with oxygen, then sulfuric acid is formed, which is a strong acid. The impact of acid rain is that it affects soil chemistry negatively. It reduces the pH, making it more acidic, which is bad for the plants because plants and crops need a particular pH to grow. It disturbs the ecological balance in water bodies as well. You see aquatic plants and animals are adjusted to a particular pH. If that is disturbed due to acid rain, then aquatic life will be impacted negatively. Another cause is building sculptures using marble, limestone, because when they are attacked by the acid rain, they form certain salts and carbon dioxide and water. So marble, limestone, etc. are badly affected or corroded by acid rain. That is why Taj Mahal is facing some serious problems, because it is made up of marble, and when acid rain falls on marble, it dissolves it. It can also corrode metals of gates, etc. Fifth point is cancelled. How can we reduce the impact of acid rain? Reduce pollution, use a scrubber or other such devices. A scrubber has water inlet, so the polluted gas enters from here. All the polluting gases like SO2, NO2 will be dissolved by water, which will be collected at the bottom, preventing it from entering the atmosphere. And then pure gas comes out of it here. Now the C part, global warming. Like a greenhouse, even greenhouse gases trap heat, which is called the greenhouse effect. And when there is too much of greenhouse effect, it leads to global warming. This is the definition of greenhouse effect. Heating of the earth and its environment due to solar radiation trapped by carbon dioxide and water vapor and other greenhouse gases, mentioned that, is called greenhouse effect. So the sun's rays have a short wavelength of infrared, and they enter the earth's atmosphere and hit the earth's crust, and they're absorbed by the earth. And the air is transparent for this short wavelength. But at night, when earth emits back this heat, it does so in form of long wavelength of infrared. And this long wavelength infrared is blocked by CO2, H2O, methane, etc. So not all of it escapes into space. Some of it is trapped, which causes the greenhouse effect, which is good because without it, the earth would be very cool. Life would not be possible. But thanks to the greenhouse effect, the earth is warm enough for life to be possible. But now, due to pollution of too much CO2 is being produced, too much of methane is being produced, so the greenhouse effect is in such excess that it is causing global warming, which can have disastrous consequences in the future. Now cancel this paragraph and this and this. Sources of greenhouse effect. Carbon dioxide, well, burning of fuels, industrial processes, decay, respiration. Can't help that. I mean, don't think that you will stop breathing for a minute and you are saving the planet from global warming. Now, water vapors. That is produced when we burn fuels like LPG cylinder or any other hydrocarbon. When it burns, it gives carbon dioxide plus water vapor. And of course, the water cycle itself has water vapor. Again, we can't help here. Oxides of nitrogen are produced when there is combustion of fossil fuels and even in automobiles, which we saw earlier. Methane is produced because of anaerobic decomposition of organic matter. So we should avoid anaerobic decomposition, which is very smelly as well. Aerobic decomposition is good because it does not produce foul smell and it produces less methane. Even incomplete combustion of fossil fuels produces methane. Write one more sentence. Also, cow belches and farts. So when cows fart, they give out methane, which contributes to global warming. So we should train cows not to eat something which will cause them to fart. I wonder if that's possible, but worth a shot. Now the mechanism of greenhouse effect, I've already explained that. Some changes here. After CO2, mention and other greenhouse gases and cancel on the earth and instead write in the atmosphere. This is more of physics than chemistry. Advantages of greenhouse effect. I've told you life on earth is possible thanks to it, and also evaporation of water is possible. That is, the water cycle is possible because of the heat. Now we have a definition of global warming, market. Effects of global warming. Rise in sea level. Due to global warming, glaciers and polar ice caps will melt. Very soon the coastal areas will be submerged underwater and islands will disappear. So I recommend that you all visit Maldives while it exists, and also start planning to buy a property at a high altitude. Pedder Road is a good option. Malabar Hill. Too expensive for you? Well, study then. Study hard. Global warming will also cause more water to evaporate, and more water vapor will further add fuel to the fire of greenhouse effect. So it's a vicious cycle we are trapped in. We should go back and live like the Stone Age people. Then we can save the planet. Global warming can lead to changes in rain pattern, and therefore there can be a shift in crop zones because of climate change. Rajasthan might get flooded and Bengaluru might become a desert. So such shocking events might happen in the far future. Farmers may have to shift to other areas because their area might get too much of rainfall or too little rainfall because of climate change. This will even impact wildlife. Ways to reduce global warming. I already suggested a few methods. Minimize the use of automobiles. Start using the cycle. Start walking. Carpooling is also a good option. Plant more trees. Avoid burning of dry leaves and wood. Fourth point is cancelled. Also help the people to understand global warming. Some people have a misconception that global warming is due to celebrities going on a world tour. Now the D part. Ozone. Ozone is an allotrope of oxygen. It's formed because of UV light falling on oxygen in the atmosphere, and O3, that is ozone, is formed. And this O3 blocks UV rays from reaching the Earth's surface. So it is biting the hand that feeds it. The ozone layer is a protective layer found in the stratosphere. Without it, UV rays would reach the Earth's surface and cause skin cancer and destroy many microbes. All of this is cancelled. Destruction of ozone layer. Ozone hole is being created because of CFCs and other such gases which react with ozone and destroy it. But in the last 4 decades, CFCs have been banned, and so the ozone hole is healing. Cancel this sentence as well. Excessive use of chlorofluorocarbons or freons is one cause. Cancel all these reactions. It was earlier used in aerosol sprays and refrigerants, but nowadays we use something else like ammonia, liquid ammonia. Fuel of planes. Yeah, that is why we should not travel by aeroplane much, because they give out nitric oxide and that produces nitrogen dioxide and so on. Reactions are cancelled. They also harm the ozone layer. Ozone, by the way, is a poisonous gas. Even that can cause respiratory diseases and other problems, but cancel all of that. This table has to be learnt. If a teacher cancels it, then that's not nice. In fact, insist that this whole chapter is cancelled from your syllabus. Go on a hunger strike or something. So we need to study the pollutants' names, their origin, and their health impact.
Hi students, this is AJ sir. If you like this video, press the like button. If you would like to enroll for my online test series or online lectures, email me or message me on Instagram. Check the description for more information.